What are sports? Sports. Sport pertains to any form. You already know what sports are. I don't need to ramble on and on about what sports and the definition is. Let's just get into the real deal. Everyone knows what sports are, whether you watch them religiously, casually, or just do not watch them at all. The glimmering highlights, big brain tactics, and unpredictable endings are what ties us to invest our emotions in sports. Amongst the most popular sports, such as basketball, baseball, football, and American football, there is a sport that has not yet risen in popularity. This sport has a physicality of American football, the tactics of football, the mad highlights of basketball, and the long tradition of baseball. This sport is lacrosse. Now we roll the clips.
On the run, the backhand, around the goal line, and in. The right hand, oh, wow! McMahon put him on the ground. Thompson beats his man and scores again.
Lacrosse is a sport that was originally played by Native Americans, and here are the basic lacrosse rules. Each team has 10 players, which includes 3 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 attackmen, and 1 goalie, on the field at the same time. The roster size can vary from 20 to 40 players. The goal of lacrosse is to outscore the opponent's team by throwing the ball into the opponent's goal by using a stick. A lacrosse game usually has 15-minute quarters, although sometimes the duration might change to have the game to be shorter or longer. Opponents cannot enter the goalie circle, or else there will be a foul called. Those are the rules of lacrosse, and although there are more rules, these are like the very basic ones. Also, these rules are men's lacrosse rules. So why would you want to play lacrosse? Lacrosse is a two-way sport that requires an emphasis on defense and offense. The positions in lacrosse are like football, having attackmen, midfielders, defenders, and goalkeepers. The footwork in basketball is identical to the footwork in lacrosse. Lacrosse uses a mixture of multiple sports concepts, which makes getting into the sport that much easier than other sports, such as baseball. There's room for creative movement in lacrosse, such as behind the back shot, different dodges. Dodges are like crossovers in basketball, and stick tricks. I myself created some cool dodges, such as the Allen Iverson crossover dodge. Customizability is apparent in lacrosse. Having customized helmets, lacrosse sticks, heads with different width and hardness. The nets on the lacrosse heads have also various levels of depth, such as shallow nets or deep nets. Lacrosse's two-way nature allows players to shine not only on the offensive end, but also the defensive end. A common issue that most sports suffer from is that the offensive side of the ball completely outshines the defensive side in the entertainment standpoint, such as basketball from 2015 to 2021 season. The defenses in basketball suffers from excessive foul baiting, which encourages a repetitive style of play that creates a boring state of play. While as lacrosse does not suffer from such issues, lacrosse has as many defensive highlights as offensive highlights, which encourages varying unique styles of play, such as crease attackman, which is similar to a center position in basketball, short pole defensive middies, similar to a defensive point guard in basketball, and a long pole midi, similar to a defensive midfielder in football. The defensive physicality is similar to American football, which produces multiple defensive highlights for viewers. Here are some examples of defensive highlights.
Purchase your tracks today.
In lacrosse, these are basic equipments. There's chest pad, there's a helmet, then there's a set of elbow pads, a set of gloves, and rib protectors for optional choice, and the cleats, and also the stick itself. In the following clip, I'll be putting on my lacrosse gear. So first, I put on my ab protectors. And the rib protectors are very important for like beginners, and even though it's optional, I recommend beginners to have the rib protectors on. Next, you put on the chest pad. Even though I put on the chest pad on the wrong way, it's fine because it's an example. And then I put on the jersey. For the jersey, well, for beginners it will be a little more harder to put them on, but once you do it multiple times, it should be fine. Next, I put on my elbow pads. Elbow pads are very easy to put on, so I only explain how to do it. Next, I put on my helmet. Helmet, make sure you put your hair back if you have long hair like me, or else it will cover your eyes. And then you put on the gloves, which is most self-explanatory. And then you have the stick. And that's what the end result should look like. Lacrosse is a cool sport, with lots of potential to be one of the most popular sports in the world. Although it has flashy highlights and plays, there is also depth in the game, having complicated strategies and mechanics. It is an easy sport to adjust to, and does not require a lot of new adjustments. That is why this sport is the most underrated sport of all time. If you want to learn more about lacrosse, you can search up the PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League, to learn more about it. If you're interested in this sport and you live in Shanghai, you can go to Shanghai Lynx. If you live somewhere else, you can check your local city to see if they have like any lacrosse clubs. Also, please spread this video because we want to spread this sport. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.